Jason is here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. And today I got old Rob and Bespin Bulletin with me, and we're going to talk about the Acolyte trailer that came out today and all of the articles that Mr. Bespin wrote about the details that they released through the press releases and so on, that kind of jazz. So, yeah. Do you guys think we should play the trailer with audio, or you think that's going to get us in trouble?
Everybody else does it. You know,
Yeah.
it's fair use. Like, as long as we do commentary over it.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to turn
So-
the volume down like halfway. We'll just see if that even helps. I don't even know if it does.
Yeah, but I'm more worried it'll just blow out the voices and we can't even talk over it. It'll just be like, rah, rah.
Yeah, that could happen. All right. I'll turn it way down. All right. So let's just get it going. Here it goes. And I'll miss you. Oh, sorry. I thought it was a Beatles song. I'd fall asleep in Jedi School.
You know this isn't on the screen, right?
It's not on
No.
screen, Jason.
No, see that's the problem with this whole fucking setup. I literally hit the button, and then it makes it big for me, but it doesn't put it on screen. So thank you for calling it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's do it again. Pretend like that never happened, you idiots.
All right.
Here we go.
Close your eyes.
By the way, that kid right there on the left, he's a beard and everything. He's not even a kid, so maybe they
Well,
should.
some kids, they hit puberty early. You know,
Little Eddie Munster. All right.
I knew a kid in the 4th grade who already had hair everywhere. It happened.
Your eyes can deceive you.
This all feels awfully familiar, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what comes into your mind.
Cheetos.
It's Sweeney.
Life. Balance. I see fire.
That kid's a psycho.
That kid's Daredevil.
You think you're Neo, motherfucker? Nope.
Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense.
Old Yord.
What happened?
I sensed darkness.
Not a fan of wire work in Star Wars. Thought that was George Lucas.
Darkness rises, there it is again.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
What is that?
Ooh.
I like to think that Lucasfilm has watched the show and took Rob's suggestions of how bad that last shot looked at Celebration. And they're like, don't include it. Let's do it different.
Hey, weren't there Nemodians in the trailer from
In
Celebration?
the celebration,
was?
yeah.
Yeah.
There was pneumonia.
Yeah, no Nemodians this time.
Well,
Like-
if you want the shots of Portugal in the trailer, you've got to lose the Nemodians.
Or they're like, yeah, we're afraid
Yeah.
for people to know there's pneumonians in it.
Nobody even remembers it. They're not afraid
We're
of it.
deathly afraid of what people will do when they find out.
Yeah, I don't think anybody remembers Nemodians. I think the Nemodians can't get arrested. That's probably why they got them. Do you guys like it?
I'm neutral on it. Like
Yeah, I'm about
it's
neutral. Yeah.
it's
Looks-
80% the trailer we saw 11 months ago. Even if we've been watching it in like shaky cam, low quality, it's still basically the same trailer. We know all the gist of it. Yeah, there's just you said you've lost some shots and you've gained others. Like by the time they went to shoot in Portugal, that was around the time they were at Celebration. So of course that stuff wouldn't be included, but it is in
Yeah.
this, you know. And then obviously the final shot at the end is a lot more exciting. I don't know if that's the right word than what they showed at the end of the Celebration trailer.
Right.
But this is sort of what I expected. Like they reuse everything, so I expected like basically that trailer, and that's pretty much what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like my gripe with the Celebration trailer kind of holds true with this one is they were selling us on like a bad guy story, having to live in a world of heroes and how to like navigate that, and maybe, you know, how to recruit people into that. And that was like the way they were pitching it for a couple years. And then when I saw the trailer, I'm like, this looks like a bunch of heroes that have to deal with the bad guy for the first time, you know? And it just feels that way with this too. Like, it's just, oh, the Jedi are gonna have to deal with this bad guy.
It's because of their reluctance to divulge anything of substance in a trailer, because they have that Empire Strikes Back, I am your father thesis in their brain that somehow that rocks your world and this is going to have it, even though they don't write those moments for these shows, right? They don't write I am your father moments, but then they go around behaving like the show is going to, because they know based on that promise, we might consume it. So it ends up just being a kind of like, you know, I watched this trailer this morning when I first got up, and then I sent it to a couple of family members who asked me about it, and they have no idea what it's fucking about.
They don't know what it's about. That's what
they have no fucking idea.
Like,
normal people are just like
nothing. Okay. Like they gotta start telling. You can tell a story in a trailer without telling the entire story of your, you know, your movie or TV series. I mean, like, this is a good set. This is not a bad set. This is better than whatever the hell Cara Dune and Mando were sitting in that one episode in season 1 of Mando, right?
It's lit better.
But then there's, yeah. But then again, there's shots where I'm like, oh yeah, it's a TV show. I mean, and it's fine if it's a TV show, whatever. I'm not.
Yeah.
None of you guys, nothing we can do about that. It's a TV show, right?
Right.
But I don't know. Is she the person we're following? Is the person in the purple robe? Are we following this Jedi? One of these kids? I'm assuming, because we know it's Carrie-Anne Moss, right? But
yeah.
But people don't even know it's Carrie-Anne Moss. I'm gonna tell you, most people don't even know that's who that is. You know, like, they're just like, okay, it's a person. And then
Carrie-Anne Moss has like third billing on this. Like,
I have to pick
Stenberg and Jung Jai. So
I have to pick on Rob really quick though, that he thinks everybody remembers Nemodians but not Carrie-Anne Moss. Sorry, just gotta fuck with you a little bit.
Well, they do. So, well, the Nemodians would look the same, and, you know, she looks, you know, slightly like me.
Say it, Rob. What? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
it happens to all of us. It happens to the best.
I wasn't
of us.
this great when the Phantom Menace came out. All right, let's put it that way.
Carrie-Anne Moss still prettier than us, though. Still prettier than us.
Yeah, definitely. But you're not gonna go, oh my god, you know, it's not.
Yeah.
Not really gonna work that way. Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, is it great that, you know, they're finally adding, you know, lightsabers that actually light up so we get light on people? But that's a bad shot right there. Like,
that's a dreadful shot.
Yeah.
That's where we're like, hey, we could do a volume shot pretending to be no, you can't. This one worries me because of that guy right there. I'm like,
oh shit. Is very Kenobi vibes, right? Kenobi vibes? Is that what it's giving you?
Yeah.
I get Nari vibes off the guy.
Well, it gives me the vibes that, you remember when we got, like, on Ahsoka episode 1, they're like, oh, we're going to meet those Imperial guys or those guys at the shipyard, and they're going to, like, they're hiding something. But they're not hiding something the way Andor hides it. They're hiding it in a very Disneyland kind of, you know, I got a secret, I'm hiding it, you know, like, kind of thing.
Even the dumbest kid could find it, kind of the way. Is that what you mean?
Right. Like, that's not, I mean, that's an Ahsoka style set right there. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. I mean, I think if you love Ahsoka, you're probably head over heels on this. I mean, look, the material design on the interiors of the Jedi Temple are better, but it's still being staged and shot the same way it was in the prequels, which is straight on, you know. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, can we move the camera away from that? Again, that's good lighting, you know. It's a good shot.
It's very atmospheric.
Yeah. And I like that they're using out of focus. I don't like deep focus where everything's in focus. Lucas seems to be into that, but I like, you know.
That kid set fire to the forest from earlier, by the way.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's a gender reveal party. And
in Star Wars?
Yeah.
We're having a splorg.
Right.
Oops.
That snow grading looks better than, you know, what they've done in Mando in the past. So. But that's not a good shot. That's a Lucas style shot right there. The slow truck in where someone stands there in the center of the frame.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, that's a good location shot right there. You know, that looks dope.
Yeah. Everybody keeps asking if that's Octu. I highly doubt it, but
it's very Ryan Johnson, that kind of shot, right? This was the one I said reminded me of Disneyland the way it was shot. Like that's a bad set. Those plants were Star Trek 2 or Star Trek 3, sorry, Genesis almost. The fake plants. That's not
Right.
you know. Sorry, folks. It's TV. It's TV. It's fine. It's TV. But
Yeah, it is TV. I mean, yeah, I'm glad they all get blown away in that shot though, in that moment. It makes it better for me. I didn't
think
like
this
it when it
needed,
was all
like,
a pose, you know.
Santa's gonna love that Lord of the Rings shot right there.
Oh, right there.
Or
That means
Indiana.
you're gonna
Yeah.
get married. That's the wedding ring. You
Yeah,
get
married to Star Wars.
at the end. He gives the Sith gives everybody a rose, and if he gives you a rose, you go on to the next round.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, but I can't. I just, if you don't know what this is, I don't see you going, oh my God, it's a Star Wars. It's like, oh, lightsabers, right? Hey. So I don't know, man. You know?
Weird. I don't know why it's doing this on the screen, but whatever. Do you see that on the screen, the all reactions thing, or no?
I don't see anything on the screen.
Yeah,
Other
my
than
thing
us.
is my interface is just bugged. I'll be right back. One sec. Carry on.
Carry on, Moss. No, not a good
Carry
joke.
on Moss, carry on Ross.
But
Carry on Moss, carry on Ross.
I don't know. Like, I guess I wish I never saw the Celebration trailer because I think this would have been a bit more impactful if I hadn't been in the room for it. Like, I don't know. There's
Look,
There's
when we
not
saw
enough
the
in
first
this.
Andor trailer, let me give you an example, folks. When we saw the Andor trailer, the first trailer, there was the shot on when we saw the course on Andor and like the glass elevator shots, we were like, oh, this is like Coruscant in HD. You know what I mean? Like just the use of glass on those shots and on the was different than anything Lucas had done. You don't really see glass and reflections in the prequels. It sounds weird. You don't. You know, so like I was like, yeah, look at that. That actually looks tangible. Like it looks like, you know, it's a fantasy world, but it's real. This looks like Ahsoka, but with like better execution, I suppose, you know? I mean, if I told you this was Ahsoka season 2 and these were flashbacks, you would believe me. You know, like you'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's only got a little better." So I'm not seeing, you know, people throw that Andor thing around. I'm like, I'm not seeing that. It looks, you know, I mean, I'm telling you, like, had this come out if this come out before Book of Boba Fett, maybe we'd all be a whole lot more excited. But a 1 minute teaser trailer it's just tough, dude. It's tough to get super excited about. Look, right, Jason? I mean, it's like, I don't know. Like, it's like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to anybody and say like, oh man, I fucking flipped my table over and like, you know, jumped out the window when it came on because it was I saw it and I was like, yeah, but like I don't. There was absolutely nothing in the narrative from the trailer itself to like gravitate towards. I don't know why she wants revenge. I don't know what her fucking problem is. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what the conflict is.
But that is a Lucasfilm problem. Through though, like it's not just
it is.
Even with like Indiana Jones, they were doing it. You don't really know what the plot is. They want to keep everything a secret. So but again, this is a new time. This is a new era. This is brand new characters. Nobody we've got a connection to. You should be trying to sell it on the premise of the show, but they're not doing that. They're just treating it like every other Lucasfilm property and product they've put out in the past 10 years.
Somebody doesn't see this and go, "Oh my god, this is like I've never seen this era before." They just think the Jedi went to a different Nordstrom rack and bought Jedi outfits of that one.
I sent this to like a couple of people in my life who they like Star Wars, but they're not like big Star Wars fans. They're not like people like us,
right?
You know, they've watched the shows, they watched the movies, and they didn't really react to it, and they said, "Oh, it's just the same shit. It's just Star Wars."
Same shit.
And they were like, yeah, it's the Jedi and they're going to fight a dark side person. I was like, okay. And then obviously there's prequels references, but like, yeah, like, I don't know. This doesn't tell you anything. Like, we know what this is going to be or supposed to be because we read every fucking thing that the director or leaker or whoever it is puts out.
Right.
But the average person that they got to sell this to make it a success just looks at it and says, this is Star Wars shit. They have no idea why they need to be invested. Why this is
like an example. Like I just rewatched the 99 or 98 film Mask of Zorro yesterday, right? And the villain in that is surprisingly charismatic and disastrous, right? Like I mean, like a bad guy. He's a bad dude, you know. And I'm like, all right, this is a pulp adventure, swashbuckling movie, but these people, the violence is real, even though it's a cartoon. We know none of this shit could really happen, you know. And like, I was like, all right, if they could just achieve that, then they'll have some real interesting stuff. But because it's a villain show, I guess. And then the quote, and to be fair, I haven't read the article, but like the interview, but like Leslie Headland was saying, it's like Frozen meets Kill Bill. And I'm like, if the kind of villains you're going for are Frozen, where they're not really villains, they're just kind of like, I'm not so.
Frozen's super lame, and I don't remember it really well. But isn't it just like my feelings are hurt about some shit?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
So Rick James right here gets her feelings hurt, and then she wants to kill the Jedi.
Call a Rick James. Like,
oh, come on. She got the Rick James hair right there. I mean, that's a fucking, I'm Rick James, bitch. Okay. Cancel me. I already been canceled. Don't care.
I'm canceled. You're canceled. So
that is a super freak though.
Bestman, get your super chats today. Right? Shame on you. So
super reek.
But like, then I'm like Kill Bill. I'm like, no offense, but I don't think anyone at Disney has the balls to actually write anything like Kill Bill. So I know what you're saying, wire fu, but it's like an American, like sort of homage to kung fu things in a way. But at the same time, it's still a personal homage. Like Quentin puts personal things. So I'm interested to see if she does put like we're gonna be able to see fight sequences from films she likes. She sort of put those in the you know what I mean? Like in the or is it gonna be just because I got Carrie Ann Moss and it's like, you know, Matrixy, so that counts. Like I don't know what that means, you know.
Do you remember when like before this show we didn't saw anything of it? Remember when it got leaked through like the trades or whatever?
Yeah.
The way they were selling it was that it was obviously set before the prequels High Republic, but they kept saying that it was martial arts heavy and female centric was the words they were using. Like
I think it was an Illuminati article about casting too that also said that stuff.
Yeah, but I remember because it came it came out right around the time like lockdown was happening, right? That this came out that Headland was doing this.
Yeah,
and at the time the trades and everybody were just saying martial arts female centric because obviously there was way before casting underway and everything else.
Yeah,
you know, so martial arts has always been a factor into the creation and development of the show, it seems. Right. The fights look better than recent stuff that we've had.
Yeah, they look better than any fight on Ahsoka. I mean, like,
yeah.
And I say it looks like, I say it's more into Ahsoka. Guys, like, just the violence is real in Andor. It's different, all right? Like, when they torture Bix with that machine, that's horrific. And you don't even see anything. It's just a way this is, you know, fantasy fighting. You know, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is a beautiful film. I saw it in the theaters. I love it. But it's a fairy tale, right? So this is fairy tale like action, and this looks like it's more in that vein. Ahsoka's a fairy tale. Like, I was
making a slight joke about it when we were watching the trailer, but if the you know, the guys that get all crazy about everything, those guys, about George Lucas especially, and his biblical will about his intent and that kind of jazz, like he was very against wire work. Whatever they wanted to use it, he was like, ugh. It was like a big deal when they did actually do any kind of wire work. And so on this one right here, this is the wire work Star Wars though. This is going to be it. You know what I mean? This is the one where they're actually like leaning into that style. And so it's going to be I think it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, we had Ahmed Best on, Jason.
Yeah.
The newer people listening don't realize we actually interviewed Ahmed Best a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And he was telling us that, you know, he had thought maybe Jar Jar's practical effects work would be closer to Jackie Chan than, say, Charlie Chaplin, right? But it went more the Charlie Chaplin route at sort of George's direction. But Jackie Chan is not doing wire fu. He's doing practical stunts on sets. You know what I mean? Like an insane level of work, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's why it has a visceralness. And the wire fu stuff, it's great when you're in a fantasy thing, like a dreamlike, you know, whatever. But it lacks visceralness, you know? And so Quentin, the way he gets around it is he's got wire food, but then he'll hack an arm off and blood will be everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like he'll rip a person's eye out and have them scream and knock over all the margaritas. They're not doing that in this series. So,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Which, yeah, I'm okay with them not doing it. You know,
I'd love to see her rip out they'll rip out a droid's eye, and then the droid will flail around and knock over all the margaritas. How about that?
So Bespin wrote a couple of articles today, and each one he asked me to read them in order so that way they unfold logically, because they didn't necessarily release things in a logical fashion. So Star Wars The Acolyte trailer released. First 2 episodes debut on Disney Plus on June 4th. So as we learned that from the trailer right here, we see her looking like Rick James in Chainmail, which is kind of a cool new style. Before anybody wants to talk about any shit, this is a made-up culture from a made-up place that they pulled out of their ass. Right. So if that offended you, I don't know, fucking lick my balls. All right, here we go.
You can't have it both ways. You can't say everyone looks like white guys with long sideburns and mustaches, and there's nothing, and then, you know.
And I make fun of them too, for the record. After months of anticipation, Lucasfilm and Disney Plus have finally shared the long-awaited trailer for the next live-action Star Wars series, The Acolyte, which you can watch below. So there you go. Go watch it. Okay, yesterday Lucasfilm debuted a teaser poster for the Disney Plus series and confirmed the release of June 4th, 2024. Today, Lucasfilm debuted the official poster of the series, which you can see in this paragraph, and revealed that not 1, but 2 episodes of the series will release on the 4th of June, according to ex-user Cryptic 4K Qual. The first 2 episodes of The Acolytes have a combined runtime of roughly 1 hour and 20 minutes. Readers of Bespin Bulletin would have seen him cover Cryptic in the past, and even more so in the last few weeks, as this individual has become a solid source of runtimes and trailer release dates. And then right here, we could see the poster right here, which is actually a fairly nice, I think it's a pretty cool poster, for like what it is, you know.
For a teaser poster, I quite like it.
Yeah. It's, you know,
I'd take this over a bunch of fucking floating heads any day.
It could be Amandla Stenberg on a Photoshop background with some stars in the back, and it says Star Wars. You know, this is a lot better. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit. Is that Stenberg in the shot, or is that
Stenberg in the shot, and that's in Portugal?
Right, and that's one of the things everyone is going to ask: is that Octu? And if we would just go by what we see on screen, who knows? If we go by filming locations past and present, then the answer would be no, as I don't believe they used anything from Portugal for Octu in the sequel trilogy films. So they most likely would have went to was it Skellig Michael, if they were going to do, or the surrounding areas if they wanted something close to it. So my guess, if you just had to bet, we don't know, but if I was betting, it would be no.
Like they spend a lot of time in the UK, so if they did want to go and do something like that, they could have
went there.
Similar locations, even if they couldn't go there.
Yeah,
they go to certain parts of the year, but they went to Portugal for a specific reason.
Though unconfirmed, European official Disney Plus accounts have shared that The Acolyte will release June 5th in those territories, which implies that the series is likely releasing later that day on June 4th for those in North America. In September of last year, Bespin Bulletin exclusively reported that The Acolyte would release in the summer of 2024 and would be the first live-action Star Wars series of the year, despite the John Watts Skeleton Crew series originally being slated to debut in the holiday season of 2023. That series, he exclusively reported at the time, had been delayed to November of this year. Collider shared exclusively, man, all these motherfuckers with this exclusivities, that Acolyte would release on June 5th a few weeks ago. Though, as mentioned, this series will debut a few hours before on June 4th for residents in North America. So the High Republic era series wrapped production in May last year following a 7-month shoot. The Acolyte primarily filmed in the United Kingdom, specifically at Shinfield Studios, but did not shoot across various locations in the UK, including Wales, and even ventured to Portugal. Both the Brecon Beacons, did I say that one right this time? Brecon Beacons?
Yep, you did. Said it.
All right, there we go. Wales, set, and those from Portugal can be seen in the trailer. The majority of forested areas were shot in the Brecon Beacons National Park, which this motherfucker on the show is not built for. And the shots of a small island surrounded by the sea are from Madeira Island, Portugal. Thanks to a Lucasfilm press release that contains stills from the newly released trailer, we have learned the names of a few characters. Amandla Stenberg, the series lead, is named May. Carrie Ann Moss's Jedi Master is named Indara. Charlie Barnett's Jedi character goes by the name of Yord Fandar. What a shitty fucking name, Yord Fandar. That is somebody's West End Games buddy. What's your name, Charlie? Oh, I'm Yord Fandar. All right. And Daphne Keen's Jedi Padawan character is named Jecki Lon. The readers of the site would recognize the name Jecki for a while. Yeah, that was a funny one. In addition to the poster and release date reveal yesterday, Lucasfilm also shared an updated synopsis of the upcoming Disney Plus series, which reads, in The Acolyte, an investigation into a shocking crime spree pits a respected Jedi Master against a dangerous warrior from his past. As more clues emerge, they travel down a dark path where sinister forces reveal all is not what it seems. The series was created by Russian Doll's Leslie Headland who directed the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte, both of which we'll see on June 4th. Cognata directed episodes 3 and 7. Alex Garcia Lopez from Daredevil directed episodes 4 and 5. And finally, Hanel Culpepper from Westworld will direct the season finale, episode 8. So, The Acolyte stars Amandla Stenberg and then all of the cast and stuff like that. And you could hook Bestman up on Coffee, and you could follow him on Patreon here. If you need to go to it, you could get the links from his website. Just go to Bestman Bolt and click on pretty much any article, and you could get the links at the bottom of the page. So, all right. So that was our. Should I go on and run to the first one, or do we have anything to talk about on that one?
It's up to you. Like I said, we know that it's 120 minutes spread across 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Right. So that's something like the Cryptic has put out. Like immediately after the trailer, and we now know which directors are doing what episodes. The only director we didn't know about previously was it Hunley Culpepper. That one as well. That's the one I'm like, when I was looking through the list of directors, that was the one I was like, ooh, because there's like, when I was looking through the directing work, I picked Westworld because it was probably the most accomplished.
Yeah.
In terms of directing and like how that like looks visually, and it was the last season of Westworld specifically.
Right.
But they did like episodes of SWAT, so that's a CBS show. Like Big Sky, Kung Fu, Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Picard, like the first season of Picard specifically. Mayans FC, Supergirl, The Crossing, The Flash, Lucifer, Gotham, the originals, like Empire with Terrence Howard, mine, and
oh man, don't mention Zero. Just let's not even talk about the number 0 around Terrence.
Yeah. So that finale, I'm like, I don't think you've got like the best. You've got such great directors on board, specifically Headland and what's his name, like Kadonga, like whatever his name is, like like them two are like more accomplished and better directors.
Better name than some of these Jedi, I'll say, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't know. So the episode, the director on the last one doesn't inspire me with a ton of confidence. It's like nobody watched the Ahsoka finale. I think Ahsoka got worse as it progressed. Right? Like with how the show even looked visually and choreography and like how, I don't know. So like Rick Famuyiwa, did he do the finale? Is that what he did?
Of Ahsoka?
Yeah.
I think so.
Like that one like didn't look great. Like at all. Like the fights didn't come across.
The last episode of Mando season 3, right? With the cookie, the little circle, whoop whoop, right?
Yeah. So there was, I don't know. I like ending. I wish they had put something of that quality. Maybe this director will surprise me, but if it's following past work, I wish that was like in the middle of the series instead of the end, because that's going to be one of the last things you remember about the show.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it looks fine. Like in the trailer, like visually, it looks fine so far. And I know there's quite a few dodgy shots with the volume, but
yeah,
could be okay.
Yeah. All right. Your next article is about character names. right?
And the descriptions
Names
they give.
and
Yeah.
descriptions for Star Wars The Acolyte characters revealed. Okay.
Also, I just want to say, if Darth Bane does play a role in this, and their tagline is "A Darkness Rises," I'm never not going to hear that in Bane's voice from A Dark Knight Rises.
No, Darth Bane is thousand. Darth Bane's like
arc of light, the
No.
darkness rises. Right? Yeah. Like I'm never,
Darth Bane is like 1,000 years before this, I
just
think.
letting you know, man.
But there
Yeah.
could be like Sith holocrons or whatever that like have it. Or you know what I mean? Like it could be.
It's like a fucking
Some-
nerd right now.
I know.
No,
I
I'm
do.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. Today,
Yeah.
today I
Yeah,
was like,
nerd.
everyone was sending me everything. Everyone was like sending me everything, and I was like, very grateful to everyone who did. But I was like tossing it over to him to make sure like he had it, so that way it was going into the articles for the show, and just make sure he had seen everything. And he's like, I already saw it. So every time he said it, I just texted back, "Fucking nerd." You know, that's how else do you do it? How else do you do it with somebody?
You're
All right.
fucking nerds. Nerds.
Following the release of the highly anticipated trailer and a brand new poster, Lucasfilm have shared the names and descriptions of a plethora of characters from The Acolyte. Amanda Stenberg plays May, an individual that gets swept up into a sinister mystery, one that puts her in the center of the conflict in unexpected ways. I like that her chest piece is like very Return of the Jedi-y. Kind of reminds me of like something a skiff guard would like wear. It just kind of has that kind of look to it. And then Lee Jung-jae plays Master Soul, a wise, highly respected, powerful Jedi Master, strong in the ways of the Force, who's going through an emotional conflict. Uh-oh. Divorce. Jedi divorce. So, here we go. And right there he has a little cloak on.
The Jedi took half of everything I owned. I'll have my revenge.
Manny Jacinto plays Chimere, a former smuggler who makes his living as a trader. He procures unusual things and enjoys a life of leisure. So, doesn't look like he's living too big of, good of a life of leisure here. I mean, it kind of looks like he's like living in a fucking 1-bedroom studio, and he hasn't, come on.
I think in the first like this celebration trailer as well, I think we had a few more shots of him, and he looks stressed the entire time.
Really?
I don't
It's like
think he's enjoying a life of leisure, to be honest with you.
Yeah, sounds like he did business with the wrong people or something. Carrie-Anne Moss plays Master Indara, a Jedi Master of great physical and mental skill.
How shit is that description? Like, it tells you nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know they've all been pretty bland, but this one in particular, like, was bad.
It's all, she's a real bitch, and they had to cut it.
Oh yeah, she has like she's mentally strong and like has good physical ability. Okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
do you want to tell me about her personality?
It
Her
sounds
fucking-
like a PR reply when they complain Kathleen Kennedy's too old to run Lucasfilm, right?
Yeah,
And they
is
go,
Carrie-Anne Moss too old to be Jedi-in? No, man, she's a great master, great physical and mental skill. She passed all the tests.
Yeah.
All right.
Man, camera, droid, dog, Nemodian.
Dean Charles Chapman plays Master Tobin Spirit Guide. A depiction of this character was not shared. They're just like, he sucks. So
Yeah.
fucking, there's little Tobin.
Justin
Oh.
Timberlake.
Yeah. There he goes. Look at him going to get Master Brittany pregnant and take her to get the abortion and then act like it never happened. She'll never forget it though. Master Brittany will never forget it. Jonas Saotome plays Master Kalnaka, a Jedi loner that lives a solitary life.
This man is
Loner
me.
Daddy.
I relate to
Loner
him.
Daddy. Ah,
He's
so
also in
funny.
Wales in this shot, so
Yeah.
he is me.
There
He has
you
a lot-
are.
Bespin knows what it's like to run through these trees maniacally.
I do know. It's like to run through the street. It's probably the forest I ended up in.
Right. I know. It was funny because I like that the shot of it because it's it's to me feels Return of the Jedi-ish because it's like a Wookiee in a real forest. So as opposed to like Revenge of the Sith where we had a Wookiee on a CGI tree planet.
He wasn't
And,
a
like,
fan of that.
Yeah. So on this one right here, as I'm watching, I'm like, I liked it, but it comes right after that shitty volume shot, and I'm like, I'm all Lucasfilm giveth and Lucasfilm taketh. It's just
But
the
the
way
thing
it
is,
goes.
what I don't understand about the shit volume shot is just they're overlooking like a bunch of trees. The area
Yeah.
they filmed in is literally like littered
Full
with
of
it.
trees. Yeah.
Like it was so odd because where they filmed, they had this like big patch of just like land of like this grass there that they were on top of, but it was looking into like trees, and it was pretty high up. It wasn't like low down in the mountains. So there was
Right.
things they could have done. They didn't need to do that specifically. Like it's so odd.
Yeah.
And they had all these like fake plants up there. They put them in the ground and they doing all that shit. So yeah,
Right. Yeah. Well, I give credit to the shot. The shot does look nice.
that shot is nice.
The
Yeah.
photography on it's nice.
I wonder if, and I mean, probably not, but I wonder if the volume shot of that forest was like a pickup,
Mhm.
rather than building a whole, or if it's just practicality. We're not going to build a whole village on a hill above this set. At the same time, like, I don't know if there's a way that if you
Probably-
compositing makes
Probably
that big a
the
difference.
logistics of getting that group of people up high
Right.
overlooking a
Yeah.
forest in the right spot probably just wasn't worth it for the
Generally,
writers
they were
and-
up high though. They were like,
yeah.
like I said, I had to like, they were at the bottom of the park. I had to fucking climb, man. I had to.
Was it hard for you? Was it weird?
No,
Did you
no.
get really winded and swety? Were you built for it?
You should
No.
have GoPro'd it, so we
I
could
should-
hear
I
the
should
rustling,
have.
the
Like,
rustling,
yeah,
right? We could hear all the struggle.
I would love to put out that video of just me running from the buggy, man. Like, just
I'm rich.
dodging sheep and jumping over fences and just legging it. Like,
Jason just got a super chat bigger than what Spreezy wasted his money on Roca, right?
I'm John Roca. I'm John Roca.
Yeah, here we answer the super chats. Go ahead, Jason. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck everything. I'll stop everything I'm doing for $199 super chat. Thank you, Michael. That is really, really generous of you. I really appreciate it.
I did shout Michael out the other day on the show. Don't
Yeah.
hear it, but it's the same Michael.
Also, a
Jason.
big fan of his sister Debbie.
Oh, right. Yes, yes. And the guitars that he made as well. Not bad. Not bad.
Not a fan of his brother Mel.
Ooh. Like his early work though. All right, Michael, thank you so much, man. Jason, enjoy the cash. I will, man. I do have a question for the goat of scoops. I started listening to you pre-Force Awakens, and the one scoop that I think about, Leia goes to the Hutts for funding, maybe for the New Republic, and there were multiple Hutts. Not trying to poke, just curious. So there's a really funny thing about that one from memory here. And so what ends up happening is that there was concept art was beginning to leak on The Force Awakens. It was going around, and this one guy was an extra, and he started to, in my opinion, co-opt the concept art into great meanings for the things that he saw. And I was pretty cognizant of that happening. I have a background in ethnography, so I kind of know how people, when you're interviewing them, tend to project a lot of various things just based off of assumptions and stuff. So as that was happening, I became a little bit like, I don't know about this. Meanwhile, at the same time, Battlefront was starting to heat up, and there was a lot of concept art from that going around. And stuff that was being talked about. And there was stuff like Kylo and on Endor and talk of that stuff. Don't know if that was actually truly real or not, even looking back on it. So as that begins to go forward, that person tells, I think in the end, they tell me, I put an article up. I took the article down because as I began to fact check everything collectively, it was falling apart. The person was insisting that they were on Maz Kanata's cantina, or whatever, her castle, I should say, and they were convinced that they were on a cantina on Tatooine. And that was just from the concept art that showed Maz Kanata on Tatooine. Stuff like that. And so it went out of control. I ended up taking it down. The scooper, if you want to call them that, got really angry at me. Took the story to Star Wars Newsnet. They ran it. I was like, you guys shouldn't do that. They're like, we're thirsty for it. And then now here we are. Might have been fucking Pojima for all I know. The guy from the Reddit leaks forum plays the Star Wars Newsnet guy who was really Star Wars leaks moderator who really just gives preferential treatment to Star Wars Newsnet because they're in bed together. That's probably what's going on there. I think that's how it unfolded. It's been like a long time, but I would say, yeah, for the most part, the Hutt stuff did not pan out. Obviously, I don't think any of that stuff was actually legit on the Hutt front. And then it ends up, culminating with Star Wars Newsnet running an article about frog dogs and being the one survivor who could tell on Princess Leia. And if it was comedy, it would have been funny, but it wasn't. But thank you so much for the 199 super chat, Michael. That's really generous. Thanks again, man.
Yeah,
And then okay, back to the Acolyte. Here we go.
back to the acolyte. Back
All
to
right.
the acolyte.
Back to Acolyte. Joni Turner Smith plays Mother Anicia. Anicia? Annie?
Anisea?
Anicia? I think Anicia is right. That feels right. I agree. So, Mother Anicia, the leader of a coven of witches who value their independence along with the preservation of their beliefs and powers. So, one thing that's like notable about this, and one thing that we kind of been talking about, is we were going to learn that there's more witches than just Mother Talzin. As we were getting into the Ahsoka era, we were bringing that up like quite often. And this right here is probably another arm of that. And the thing that I found interesting about their inclusion is that initially during the prequel stuff that we learned, the canon prequel era stuff, we learned that Maul is a product of Mother Talzin to some extent. And with that, Palpatine robbed those witches of their power. He kind of made like a deal with them, and then he ripped them off. And so I'm kind of wondering if this is going to sort of be like, if this is in any way connected to what the Sith were doing at the time, which was playing around with magic and trying to combine stuff to get, more powerful stuff like that. So Charlie Barnett plays Yord Fandar, a Jedi Knight and Jedi Temple Guardian, is an overachiever and a rule follower. So this guy sucks. He needs to be by the book. His need to be by the book nature can cloud his judgment. So, look his little earring. I was like, what? I don't know, man. If you're like fucking by the book, do you get a little cool earring? I kind of think maybe he's busting out of his shell. You know what I mean? But we'll see. He's probably gonna die like right away. That's probably his whole thing. He follows the rules. He probably just gets killed by that thing like right away.
No,
No.
he's in the trailer a few times, isn't he? I think he was in Celebration one more as well. He has a yellow lightsaber, I believe. So he's gonna be around a while.
Okay.
The one I think might get
Looks cool.
kicked off is Master Tobin.
Oh, Tobin. Poor
Yeah,
Tobin.
because he's only in that like one shot. Like in the Celebration shot, he was in the lineup of like the Jedi, and he was on set in Brecken. Like in photos we had from there, and but we haven't seen him in anything else. So I think he's going to die in that forest, and like that's where this shot is, where he's like they're killing Jedi,
right?
So yeah.
Poor Tobin. Daphne Keene plays Jecki Lone, a Jedi Padawan, the apprentice of Master Soul. She is young, but conducts herself with maturity. Look at her. I'm Jecki. Jecki like cheese. Sorry, that is kind of like a Jecki like face, right? Okay, Rebecca Henderson plays Vanestra Rutro. I'm not sure how you say her last name. I think it's Rutro. I think it's a Scooby-Doo. An elder Jedi Master who has ascended the ranks of Jedi from a teenage prodigy to a leader of the Jedi Order. So this is like Yoda before Yoda, maybe.
Also,
isn't she like 150 years old or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
I know a little bit about her from the expanded universe, or not expanded universe, the High Republic books and stuff like that.
It's just a synopsis and stuff underneath. There's like nothing else in this.
Yeah. Okay, so this is all just the same stuff. Okay.
Yes, the synopsis and whatever.
Right. So, all right, and then you did another article. Star Wars: The Acolyte creator teases season 2 of the series, episode to run from barely 30 to 40 minutes. Am I still in order? Did I mess this up?
Yeah, no, this is right. Yeah.
This is right. Okay. Earlier today, Lucasfilm finally shared the first trailer for The Acolyte, which boasted a release date of June 4th. The trailer excited many fans of the series. Creator has now sat down for a chat with Collider in promotion of the newly released trailer. Leslie Headland, the creator, showrunner, and writer,
the outlet that leaked the release date.
Yeah. So that's why they didn't really leak the release date, did they? It was a planned leak, I would say, based off of that. Leslie Headland, the creator, showrunner, writer, and director of The Acolyte, told Collider that the trailer featured footage from around 4 to 5 episodes. Fans of Star Wars have come to expect trailers, especially earlier released ones, to feature footage mostly from earlier episodes, though Headland claims it's from up to 5 of the 8 episodes produced in the series.
Hey Jason, 1 second. I got a delivery at the door. 1 second. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so, and then Headland, when asked about the Star Wars series The Acolyte is most like, revealed that The Acolyte would be leaning more towards Andor, as opposed to The Mandalorian. I found with Andor, it really built into something that was exciting and had this incredible payoff at the end. We were definitely trying to do something similar narratively, though the showrunner did tease that the series would feature references to other Star Wars material like The Mandalorian does. There are a lot of alien references, a lot of Clone War references, a lot of original trilogy references. Basically, all of that stuff that I love about Star Wars and I think are recognizable, but no post-Empire or current Empire iconography. The Acolyte would certainly not anchor itself to anything that would rely on the Skywalker saga. So you think she just means like Nemodians when she says Clone War stuff? That's kind of where she's going with it, like the Trade Federation.
Yeah,
stuff.
I think she says alien species, so I think there's just stuff like that, like, yeah.
The newly released trailer ends with a group of Jedi igniting their lightsabers after a crimson blade is thrown in their direction. Despite the shot, and Headland previously claiming that the Acolyte would feature the most Jedi ever seen on screen, the series creator revealed that the Jedi would not be igniting their lightsabers that often in this time period, but would only do so when they actually felt threatened. At this point in the Star Wars timeline, the Sith have not been seen or heard of for decades. Or, yeah, it's been like 900 years or something?
Yeah,
so
something like that.
So seeing a lightsaber being hurled in their direction is more than enough for a reason for a Jedi to feel threatened. Quote, I think I could say that without spoiling anything, is that when I was thinking about the Jedi in this particular era, I thought that they wouldn't pull out their lightsabers very often in this era. There aren't battle droids to fight. There isn't a dark saber. It exists at this point, but it's definitely not around. So why would they pull their sabers? They would only pull their sabers if they felt like they were really being threatened. End quote.
But we spoke about like battle droids like the other day possibly being in this. She says straight up like there's no battle droids.
So we have Nemodians, no battle droids. Okay.
No battle droids.
Cool. And then the other thing is I think what she's really getting at is an excuse to use martial arts more.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to pull a lightsaber out on just a guy, starting some problems with you. You don't really got to go and do that. You could just, So anyways, the Russian doll creator also addressed the rumors of episodes running from 30 to 45 minutes directly following the reliable X user Cryptic for Quality recently revealing said runtimes. Helen said about 30 minutes. Yeah, I would say some of them are a little bit longer, like the finale. I think it's 40 minutes, but there are also some that I think are like barely 30 minutes. On average, I would say somewhere between 30 to 35 minutes. So just like everything else. Leslie Headland revealed that she doesn't see the series as a 4-hour-long film broken down into 8 individual episodes, but that she saw it as a weekly experience from the beginning, as the series will deal with heavy issues and emotional moments that would benefit from a long break between episodes. When asked if the series would end after a single season, Headland revealed that she pitched it as a multi-season show, and that her hopes would be to make more seasons of The Acolyte if this series receives well enough ratings and enjoyed by fans, though the creator did tease that some narrative threads are not tied up by the end of Acolyte's first season. Quote, I would say that when I pitched it, I definitely pitched it as a multi-season show. There are a lot of things at the end of the season that I think are narrative threads that are not tied up for sure. However, I am the type of writer that is not interested in an emotional cliffhanger. I want you to feel like you've had a particular type of catharsis and an emotional experience in watching those 8 episodes, because I like rewarding the audience with that. I still think that means you can pepper in things that are like, I want to see where that's going to go. And, oh, I didn't realize that person was related to that person in this way. And I like to see more, but there isn't something where you feel like you're on the edge of your seat and have to have that catharsis. And then you have to wait 2 years. These things take forever to make. So I would hate to make a season that didn't feel complete, even if it was still open for more story, end quote. So I like that idea, because you never know. This might be a 1-season show or whatever. It might be short season, but also we do tend to, when the series do feel like they're a movie cut up into 8 episodes, we tend to not like that. We tend to get bored of it, and it tends to not be very satisfying. Where when the episodes do stand alone, you tend to get like you're satiated, and it can be better.
I just dealt with this with House of Ninja. Like, it's a fantastic show. I love the characters, but it's like they needed 3 or 4 more episodes, man. 8 was not enough. Like, you need somewhere at least 10 to 13, like somewhere around. Daredevil was 13 back in the day. That was more than enough. Like, I'm just sorry. Like, like, so 8, I don't know,
Right.
One thing I like the headline is also saying that she's not getting ahead of herself. Even though she's saying she has like pitched it to be multi-season, she realizes it's dependent on like viewership and the perception from critics and fans.
Right.
She's not getting ahead of it. It's like with Ahsoka, we all just thought that was a given for a second season, and it took a while to actually get it. Like to be like, this is going to happen.
And success does not dictate a second season with Lucasfilm for whatever reason. Boba Fett, Kenobi, the bigger shows, and they didn't even make second ones of that. So it's the stars definitely have to align for you, I think, on a couple of different fronts beyond just the ratings or it being good. But when asked how quickly she could produce a second season if Disney asked for it, Headland claimed that it could be made pretty quickly, and that there's a timeline and ideas. The creator added that in early development, she told Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy where a second season of the series would go and the conflicts that would occur. Though despite Headland revealing a second season could be developed relatively quickly, she did tout that she's going to be taking a much-needed break after working on the Acolyte for so long, dedicating over 4 years of her life to the first season alone. Headland also added that along with the break, she wants to see how the series performs rating-wise and to receive feedback from fans, but teased that if the fans' reaction was negative, it wouldn't stop her from developing a season 2. Very important to say that, because they will just try to bully you out of doing it because they're fucking assholes. So that's smart. But instead, she
nuts. Like, mad respect to her. I don't think people understand. That's your entire high school career doing one thing.
Yeah.
Like, just think about it, folks. It's an insane amount of time.
Yeah, that's what they say. It takes, for the movies, it takes 5 years in the end from it starting to it coming out. So it wouldn't stop her from developing a second season, but instead she'd have the information as to why it could be disliked, and the second season could be developed with that in mind. We could make it pretty quickly. This is the quote. We could make it pretty quickly. We definitely have a timeline. I have a lot of ideas. And again, a lot of it was stuff that I told Kathleen early on in terms of where I would like the season to go and the conflict that I see happening, specifically in the second season. But I have been working nonstop on this for a very long time. So I'm definitely taking a much needed break before we get into the writer's room going. And I'd like to see how the show performs. I'm very interested in that. I'm interested in seeing, like you said, the ratings and seeing what are the things that people, I don't want to say it's in reaction to fan reaction, but you do get feedback at the end of the season, which is kind of nice to just be like, okay, those people hated that. It doesn't mean we don't do it. It just means, we're armed with the information that it was an unpopular thing, so we can do it anyway. But knowing that stuff, I think it's really good. I think they would love to start it immediately. They're very happy with the series, but I need a break. I also have a baby. So Leslie, so that's the end quote. So, staying on topic of a possible second season, Headland revealed that despite the inclusion of the character Vanestra Rowe, an individual that appeared in the High Republic novels. No other character from those books would appear in the first season of the Acolyte, as she's going to save characters from them to be introduced in a possible second season of the series. Because in reality, it wasn't fucking possible, probably, while they're writing books in current time and then having to take the scripts into account. It's probably impossible. So for all of the people that are always reading the comic books going, this is a tip off to the next season. No, it never is. And it never will be. It just doesn't work that way. In the Acolyte, an investigation into a shocking crime. Oh, this is just the thing, right? Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, I don't have any like real fucking like, things from what she said in that. Like that all seems like pretty, pretty straightforward methodology. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting feedback and then adjusting your series to that, not necessarily chasing down being a people pleaser, but if everybody's saying it looks stupid when you shoot snow speeders like that in Kenobi, maybe the second season you don't shoot snow speeders like that, that kind of stuff.
I like the quote from her when she talks about it, that she she clearly doesn't like how long things take to come out these days, that it takes 2 years, but that's probably at least what this is, right? And I doubt it'd even get out in 2026 if there is a second season, because it's the movie year. There's supposed to be 2 films, right?
Yeah.
So you'd probably look a little bit later. And but I like that she says that she'll take in feedback, not necessarily that she'll change everything that people would have hated or disliked, but that like she'll use that in the development of the second season, and try and get a better response from fans. I like hearing that from her, like, and this is her first go around on it. I wish we'd hear this from somebody like Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Because season 1 and 2 people liked a lot. Season 3 and Boba Fett, which obviously he wrote, were nowhere near as good as what came before. And I'd love to hear him have a quote like this one day, where he's like, I do take on the criticism. Because for some reason with Favreau, I feel as if it's just like a yes man situation going on, right?
Yeah.
Like the quality of the scripts and whatever have been sort of subpar of the last 2 things he's produced. So for me, I'd like to hear that from more creatives at Lucasfilm,
Right.
rather and so Headland I think is off to a good start. And I do think she's talented. The cast in this are great. They're all really talented people. Stenberg in particular, it's somebody I like a lot. And then obviously the talent around it, like Headland and some of the directors. So I hope it's a good show. I really do. And she gives me confidence that it'll be pretty good. Obviously, there's going to be the people who hate it. They started doing it yesterday. The pylon started yesterday with the teaser poster thing with the lightsaber and the blood. Like that all started yesterday, and I don't know what the response is today. I've asked like my own followers how they felt about it, and the vast majority of them liked it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. How do you guys in the chat like it, by the way? You guys kind of, I haven't seen a lot of opinions in the chat, by the way. Just sorry to interrupt, but.
Yeah, it's just, but again, like for me, it's just so, like, I'm excited for the show, but it's so neutral because of like, it's most of what we've seen before. Like we've all said, it doesn't really tell you much, suffering from the modern day Lucasfilm problem of secrets all the time. And yeah, I don't know. I am looking forward to it. I'm already mentally moving on to the next trailer because this has just given me pretty much what we saw last year, like, except it wasn't the excitement there. It wasn't of like, we're seeing this in good quality before everybody else, and you sat there with your friends,
Right.
So being here watching this alone in my bedroom, I'm like, it's basically the same thing. Like it loses a lot of its luster. But again, so much talent attached to this. And like I said, I think in that interview she said so many of the right things, even not getting ahead of herself with multiple seasons, even though as she says she pitched it, saying that it is closer to like Andor narratively than something like The Mandalorian, as she said, and and stuff like that. It's a lot of the right things are being said and shown at the moment. But
I think we might be able to shut this part down, what Ben said. I mean, to not shut it down, but I've already seen plenty of people online talking about Plagueis and that red saber. Do they really think they would reveal him in a trailer? Like, come on, folks, nobody thinks that. Yeah, I
It's
also
not.
had like I also had like somebody DM me and go like, "Did you see the double bladed red lightsaber in the fight?" And I'm pretty sure that's the fight that we were looking at stuff from, and it was a single bladed lightsaber, correct?
Yeah, the stuff I saw from when they were doing reshoots in December, I
Yeah,
think it was that thing. It was that. It,
yeah,
it was
and it
like,
was a single bladed lightsaber, and it looked like it was
yeah,
her.
like I
It was
said,
Senberg versus Jung Jai.
I thought
Bro,
it was Stenberg
Soul.
because like there's nobody else in the cast list that would fit
Yeah,
the appearance of what was going on there. They were in like a black outfit. They had a cape sort of thing. It wasn't like an actual cape. It was like something like a cape, which you can
yeah,
see there. So when that happened in the trailer, I was like, yeah, like that's something they were doing reshoots for like just a couple months ago.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think it's yeah, I think they could shut that down. I also saw people in the chat earlier, way earlier, talking about Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've not ever given us any hint of Yoda in this. Nobody's even brought him up. Maybe if he's in it, we definitely don't know about it. Um,
Yeah, he is though.
I think, well, it could be one of the things where she saves it for the end. That Yoda shows up at the end of the season. It's like, oh, okay, that's for season 2. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and
Yeah,
you know, maybe there's a situation like that, but um, no,
yeah.
like Plagueis, like that person throwing the lightsaber, like I don't think it's them. You can see by the hand as well. It's a person of color when they're holding the lightsaber before they throw it.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Like we, so I remember like there was rumors of twins, right? Did they
Mm-hmm.
cast like two young girls? They cast twins, but like that's normal for a production to cast twins to play one girl, one
He's
child.
talking about the Mary Kay Ashley Olsen thing. There's only one of those little freaks on Full House, but you
Yeah,
cast the twins so that way the other
yeah,
one can pretend to go to school while the other one works, and then while the other one pretends to go to school, the other one works.
right. So they did cast twins for the for this one role. So that clearly probably implies a flashback of some kind that
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well,
Um,
I'm of the opinion, just I'm guessing here, but that the opening when the little girl's like, "I see fire," that's her, and they kick her ass out because she's fucking not seeing the right stuff. She's not seeing hope. I see dreams. I see flowers and butterflies. She's like, I
do you
see
think
fire, and they're
do you
like,
think that's
this
that,
kid's
or
crazy.
because
Hmm.
was assuming that the shots to have Jung Jae with the long hair are more
Hmm.
present. The shots with him with shorter hair are past.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so obviously he has long hair in that moment, but like I do wonder if the fire is old.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
because when you see them on the forest planet, that's like when they are like younger, it seems.
yeah.
So I wonder if that is the case. I don't know, but I do wonder as well if because Stenberg's whole thing in this seems to be revenge, and she's clearly just going after Carry On Mouse mostly. I know you see her fight Jung Jae in there as well, but she's clearly looking for revenge on the Jedi that were there at some moment for her. So I wonder if there is a second Stenberg character, right, who gets
Hmm.
killed, and then she goes seeking revenge.
Hmm.
So that thing we see early on where it was the red lightsaber and there's a fight, maybe that's a Stenberg character who gets killed, and then she wants revenge on the Jedi that killed her sister or whatever it may be. You know?
Baymax asks, "Are the very early leaks completely discredited?"
It's too early to say.
Yeah, too early to say. If they were accurate, they would amount to the backstory of Amandla Stenberg's character, and that would pretty much if I remember the Ahsoka leaks correctly, in their thing, there's an older sister and a younger sister. A village is being raided by marauders. The Jedi are supposed to come and help, but they end up taking her. They arrive too late, and the whole village is pretty much destroyed. And in the process of that, at some point, they had taken her younger sister, who's younger than her, to be a Jedi, as she was too old. And
Then the
then,
grandfather dies.
yeah, and then the grandfather dies when the Marauders come and the Jedi don't do their part or don't show up in time, something like that. And so that was what they reported back
They also
summer or
said
two
that
ago.
Darth Plagueis was in it,
Mm-hmm.
and that he was on like
A snow
banking
planet.
clan, which they say was like a banking clan planet or something.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I remember the art that they showed, which, I mean, looking back on it, might have been AI generated art too.
mm.
So once again, not throwing shade, not saying it's not real. Those guys
Just
did
really
release the
saying, yeah.
Yaddle dead picture from animation,
Mm.
but whole different worlds, whole different things. Like you look, I mean, I'm just saying it does look at like me and Bespin's stuff over the last couple of years, the last 10 years or something. And the animation leaks usually aren't like what they got from that animation leak. That was a weird, like Yaddle dying from the show, which is super strange leak. And then, but then those avenues of information don't line up. Like in the sense that I could go and spoil The Force Awakens, but have a very hard time telling you what happened in season 1 of Star Wars Rebels. You know what I mean? It's just they're completely two different worlds. So so yeah, if they got it right, they got it right, like I said. But I'm a little like on the, I don't know if it's gonna pan out on that stuff. I feel like it's not necessarily really lining up at this point. And when I look at the concept art that they had, the images that they had, they don't really match the stuff either. So
No, like this obviously they filmed it like in Wales, like the stuff that would have been, it seems, and it doesn't look the same at all.
Yeah,
really. So I don't know.
But we're dealing with concept art, so it's like sometimes fucking shit doesn't look like it's supposed to look, and it's just the way that it is. So yeah. So anyways, to answer your question, I mean, we don't know really.
Go look at the credits to Book of Boba Fett and look at the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say that actually, when we were talking about the tavern where Carrie-Anne Moss's character is, that lighting probably looks like the concept art.
Right.
Most likely, I could imagine what the concept art would have looked like. That's what I'm trying to say. And so good on that front for that stuff. But yeah, I mean, all in all, not a bad trailer, not awful, not very effective at communicating a message on why you want to consume more Star Wars for the regulars, I'd say, for like the normal people that would see it, that could see it, the potential customers, but that aren't in the cult like us. And so I don't think it does a very good job of that. I hope the second trailer communicates more about how, oh, this is an era of Star Wars you haven't seen on screen. This is an era of Star Wars where you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how this went down. You don't know how this era died. Stuff like that. And so, it's a bummer on that front because you want it to be successful, because you want them to make more and you want things to get deeper and more involved. And if they don't get those normal people, if it's just us, if it's just the choir, I mean, you're preaching to the choir doesn't really get you very much. Is my
It gets
point.
you Andor numbers.
It gets you Andor numbers, yeah.
So,
not 5 seasons of Andor.
Hollywood Reporter did a whole interview with Hedlund. I don't know. Well, anyways.
Yeah.
Kathleen, I don't know. Let me get the damn. Here we go. Yeah, we didn't use the volume at all. Is the quote in the article.
Then they use LED walls, is what they probably used.
Right. Do you think
just
that's like a technical like?
It's the same thing as it's probably
As
similar
Gilroy
to Andor.
said it, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's they were like that about Andor, but there was a giant LED wall. It's effectively the same exact thing. The difference I would say between, I'm guessing, I think I'm right, but I'm kind of guessing. So if I'm wrong, sue me. The LED wall would be a lot bigger for huge shots with lots of people, whereas a volume is a room wrapped around, so it's a bit smaller. Your floor space is smaller, which means what you can actually do in the shot within that physical limited space is smaller. Whereas like you can send people running in front of an LED wall straight and they just run offset, run back around and keep doing it.
Right.
And then you can have like people running
like-
through this thing over
It's
and
like
over.
rear projection back in
Yeah.
the day.
And the volume when they do it, they can do that, but it's a small wrapped around room. So it's still kind of like you could still kind of just know. You still kind of know what the geography of the space is. So that would be my guess though, is that, you know, it's not a volume show though, is the point. This isn't a Southern California El Segundo set, Manhattan Beach place kind of thing. So
And those sets
that's
that we
good.
see in the trailer, like there's the town that Stenberg keeps walking through.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember posting photos of those sets. They're really big sets. Like they,
Yeah.
you know, they were large, and you know, they weren't just at Shinfield. They're outside of it. They went to like different locations just to have a wider like base to like operate on.
Right.
Again, like I said, they have done practical locations as well. So again, it will just depend on the cinematographer and how it is shot. But you know, but it's more Andor sort of production.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's going to look as good as Andor or be as good as Andor, of course, but that sort of
Yeah.
production than what we get out of California.
Yeah, for easily, and you know it. If this one had been shot on film, it would have passed like as a Star Wars movie in a lot of its shots, and many of them. But it does have that like, you know, shot 4K, bro. There's like that 4K look to it. I don't know what you call it. I'm not educated enough in this to be able to like identify it, but it does still have that. Yeah, this is a TV show look. And it's only, you know, it is a TV show, so it's not unfair to say this should look like a Star Wars movie when it's not. But we you know, we have the movies coming back pretty soon, so for the people that can't stand it, I think they'll be happy.
And one is all volume based, so
probably, yeah, probably.
to
Never
keep costs
mind.
down.
It's
So.
all over, guys. It's over. Star Wars is dead.
But no, when
We
they
did.
shoot the Ray one, it's going to be here, so you know
We don't have-
it'll look better.
Watch, they're gonna end up filming it like in Georgia or like in Athens or something. The Ray movie goes to Athens. But yeah. Well, I think I don't know. Have we done it all? Have we done it? I think we've done it all. I think we
Yeah,
said everything we
sorry
had
if
to
I
say.
let people down in my lack of enthusiasm yesterday, because I'm just as unenthusiastic about it today. So we'll see how it goes.
Uh-huh.
We'll see how.
I
it
think
goes.
I think your reason though, your you know why you aren't excited by this trailer, I think is valid. And you know, we've never been people on you who just sit here and just consume everything they give us and give it a 2 thumbs up and say we're just happy you gave us anything. Thank you for the Bad Batch. You know, like we openly criticize and share our opinions. So I think anybody who's complaining about your complaints are just they need to have a bit more of an open mind.
Yeah. I mean, when Star Wars starts treating you well, then I think maybe you'll be more enthusiastic about it. But right
no,
now,
I'm never enthusiastic on the show. When I'm highs and lows with me, Jason. Don't you know? Highs and lows.
Yeah.
That's how it goes with me. We get a nice Ronin series coming down the pike. You're gonna see Rob get super nerdy. Like,
well, they already did that, and you didn't like it.
no, they didn't do that.
That was. It's never going to be a Ronin series. It's going to be Star Wars with.
That's what I said. That's
Star
what I
Wars
said, Ronin
with.
series.
Yeah, but it's always going to be Star Wars with, and then that's where it always falls apart for you. I've noticed. It's true though.
Love
it is how.
Daniel.
Yeah.
No
yeah.
grass.
Yeah, that's true.
What we've seen in the trailer, though, do you think this could be the second best looking Star Wars series you've had? Because Kenobi
I'm not
didn't
convinced.
look good. Kenobi didn't look good. Ahsoka didn't really look good. Boba definitely didn't. Like,
If
all we
every
really need to
shot,
do is take on Mando.
yeah, if every shot was amazing in there, if there was no one where we're like that looks like the volume, I would say yeah, but.
They used the
we
volume in
didn't-
the Batman.
we didn't do
and
that
none
on
of us
Andor.
Complained about it though. You know what I mean? So, it's
But
not
they
the volume that's the
recomposited it
problem.
on the Batman.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to sit here and go one technical. There's some bad rear projection
Yeah.
in Superman the movie. I don't go, oh, well, like, it looked bad in 1978. All right. It didn't look great for the time either. Like, it happens. That all being said, I just wish they'd put the character and the story first in these trailers and stop with the mystery thing, because it just means everyone's going to start theorizing what it is versus what it actually is. You know, and I've already done that enough.
In Bad Batch right now, they're all trying to figure out who this trooper is.
Right. Remember?
And you know what?
Ahsoka?
Is nobody.
Who's the gassy
Yeah.
guy? The guy that had the gas in him. Remember? Is that
Mhm.
Ezra in the mask? And you know,
Oh,
it's
the
nobody.
Smoke
that
Man?
was so stupid. I fucking hated that time.
Right. Like, it's like, guys, this is not. It's not what I want to spend my time talking about a show about. I want to talk about what we actually got, not this theoretical situation. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if the idea was we're just gonna release this one for the general Star Wars fans and be like intrigue for Star Wars fans, it does a good job.
Right.
If this trailer is for, you know, our parents and cousins and stuff like that who aren't crazy like us, I don't think this one delivers at all on that front. So that next one hopefully really is informative. Like
But
the
by the time we
actual,
get the next one, though, it'll be very close to when the show comes out.
yeah.
So you really needed to start that
But
now.
that one's kind of that's kind of okay though, because like you see it, you're like, I want it, and then it's there. You could buy it. Whereas like it's a little bit different when it's like a movie and you gotta like organize the date and a babysitter and buy the tickets beforehand and all that shit.
You
You know?
can say people only have so much time in a day. You know, if the average person, like, you know, say they finish work at 5 and they get home, it's like 5:36. You know, they've only got a lot of
Yeah.
time to watch TV and do stuff with their families or whatever.
Right.
You know, so if you've got other things, you know that you're gonna like this coming out. Like I said, June is a big month for TV shows.
Yeah.
So are you going to be able to commit the time? Like if you haven't necessarily be sold on it, because again, they can't just sell it and it survive just off of us, right? Like we've seen that happen with Andor. 5 seasons when they were shooting the first season, it dropped down to 3, and now it's down to 2, right? Like after
Yeah.
season 1 came out, they dropped it down to 2. So you know, you can't just rely on the core Star Wars audience if you want, because again, Mandalorian is disappearing from Disney Plus. It's becoming a film series. You need something to replace it. The Acolyte is sort of the perfect show to do that because, as we've learned from EA, people want lightsabers, right? So, you know, more people tune in just based off of lightsabers alone, I think. But if you can make it like an
Ahsoka had a
intrigue,
lightsaber. Didn't save it that much.
yeah, it still did better than Andor, right? Like again, like
Yeah,
I
it did
love
better
Andor.
than
Andor's my
Andor,
favorite show,
yeah.
but like, it's just they need to start selling this now. If you want this to like take over, because you're not getting another season of Andor, that's gone after season 2,
Yeah.
right? Like we don't know if Skeleton Crew is going to be any good. We haven't heard positive things about Skeleton Crew, but like we don't know how it's going to fare when it comes out. And then you have the Acolyte, which has potential. You have 100 years before the Phantom Menace. You have so many seasons you could do before, you know, running up against certain things that you shouldn't. You know, there's a lot of wiggle room, and I don't know. I just think that they should be handling this different now, rather than wait until May and hoping to grab in a casual audience. Because, like we said with past shows, it happens every time. When there's a big cameo in those, something that people know, they get a big ratings boost. Mando showing up in Boba, Anakin and Ahsoka, whatever.
Right.
They're not really going to have this with this show. They can't rely on that to be like, okay, Yoda's going to show up in episode 4. Like, you know, like that might not happen. You know, there's been no leaks of Yoda. There's been no rumors of Yoda. Nothing. Like, they could be saving that for another season, end of the season, wherever it may be. Like, because if Yoda was in this show, I'd be putting him in the fucking trailer to be
What
like,
about your real poof?
your real poof?
Yeah, your real poof. He's the one with the really long neck.
The Q-tip.
The real.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I saw people point out like the Plo Koon today. I was like, but like, because there's you know, in the shot where it's like really like what we said was the volume looked really bad. Like his species is there, and they were like, is that Plo Koon? But again, you give a shit about Plo Koon. Like the average person does not know what the fuck Plo Koon is.
I love Plo Koon. I love him. He's my favorite character. I love him. We're gonna do a whole series of Plo Koons. Clone Poon the first, and Clone Poon the third, and Clone Poon the second, Clone Poon the 69th. We're gonna do a whole thing.
Ploned. Yeah, ploned.
You gonna get
makes sense.
pluned.
Yeah.
Can't wait. How y'all doing, Jason? You doing good? You been
I'm
in and
okay.
out. I ain't seen you in like 2 weeks.
I haven't
Gotta go
been.
back.
I know. I know. I do have to, but you know
We
what
gotta do that
Baymax
thing
says?
where we eat animal style fries like them dogs and Lady in the Tramp again. We gotta do that again, Jason. Okay? All right. Kissy kissy.
You know what they're gonna end up doing, you guys. I bet now that I think about it though, like we know that our next look at the show is likely going to be with the Phantom Menace, but that's going to come out on the Phantom Menace
After the Phantom Menace.
Okay, it says after. They said that before. Just like a little bit of clarification. If you want to see it twice, you might want to go early because when they did Andor, they said it would come after, and it was before and after. Just for what it's worth. I don't know if it matters, but if it'll go that way. But they did say, yeah, on the AMC listing, it said it was going to be after. And but once again, the people going to see the Phantom Menace are going to be the choir again. So they're gonna learn for the 20th time. This is the new era in Star Wars. You've never seen it before. It's the High Republic, and here's and it's like all the people at the Phantom Menace already know. But that's what it's going to be. It's going to waste all of that time hyping up everybody up on buying High Republic books pretty much instead. Like that's what it'll come down to. So yeah, it's hopefully that spot plays before, because later on I ended up going to the movies though. And I saw the Andor spot randomly on a different movie before Andor came out. They had it like in the theater just playing before other things, like, you know, when they do like the movie stuff, the trivia and shit, and like the all the TV ads come on and stuff, it was in that. So I'm hoping that they take that spot and they do play it in the theaters before, you know, other things. But yeah, well, I think we did it, guys. I think we did it. Feel a little bit off, so I'm gonna go take a nap. But we will be back tomorrow when more stuff comes out. Anything new comes out from this jazz, we'll come back and we'll cover it and stuff, and it'll be a good time. And I want to thank Michael Gibson for the $1.99 super chat. That is really generous. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. And so we'll see everybody tomorrow. Follow Bestman Bulletin at Bestman Bulletin on all of his stuff and all that jazz. And you can give to us coffee, and you could follow him on Patreon. And all those links are on bestmanbulletin.com. And then, Rob, did you get your Sketchcraft store up?
Yeah, shop sketchcraft.com. You can get stuff there right now.
No. Nice.
It's up. It's up and running. It is fully operational.
Fully operational.
And also, I just want to say, to sort of quote my friend John Roca, there's 631 of you people. We got 3 likes. Come on, right? Come on.
Like it.
Right?
Like it.
Right? Like it. Tickle the
it.
algos, folks. Tickle the algos. You'll help us.
All right. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Bye.